Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome here at Crypto Hash Review, where we educate and disseminate information about Bitcoin cryptocurrency from a Muslim perspective. Now, we are moving on to a series of videos related to why I personally believe that Bitcoin is halal, more halal than our current interest-based, riba-based fiat system. Now, this may be a bit controversial because many people who discuss this topic just talk about whether it is halal. They never really say it is more halal than our current system. However, I think, like we mentioned in the previous video, that we also need to factor in the current system of riba, how major and big and large our current system of interest, how deeply woven it is into our society, and how we can try our best, or how we must try our best to find alternatives wherever it may be. So we need to discuss this issue of how and why do we believe Bitcoin is halal, and the main premise whereby I believe that Bitcoin is halal is because everything in this dunya is halal by default. That's the first thing. So I don't need evidence to actually support and prove why Bitcoin is halal. I need evidence to prove why it is haram. So that is my basis. I'm going on the basis belief that it is halal by default. And secondly, most importantly, is that Bitcoin and the Bitcoin network is just a medium and a means of communication. So if I wish to send Bitcoin, receive Bitcoin, miners who mine blockchains or blocks to add to the blockchain, all of these interactions are just means of communication. Bitcoin was founded purely on the system of old technologies that were different forms of communication, be it email, messaging, online encryption. How do I send a message to somebody else in a manner whereby they can only be the ones who can decrypt it and verify the information? All these technologies that have formed the basis of all these technologies about email and messaging and what kind of stuff, these were made and put together to form a new network, which is also a form of communication. So just like how a person would write an email, put in a to address, put in a subject address, write the details of the email, press send, and then your application would form that data into packets, send it over the web until it gets to the other end, whereby they decrypt and decipher and display the message to the other person on the other end. The same technology is used for Bitcoin. So if one was to suggest that Bitcoin is haram, that would also suggest that normal messaging applications are also haram, such as Twitter or WhatsApp or Telegram or iMessage or normal SMS messaging or any kind of form of encrypted communication or any kind of long distance communication would also be haram. So as we had in our analogy we gave before in the previous video, when we mentioned that imagine the Bitcoin network like a person who is holding your money in a vault, and you wrote a letter to inform the person who's holding onto your money to transfer ownership to somebody else. Therefore, writing that message, sending that message to that person, then receiving that message, processing that message, exerting power and effort and money to secure this network and the system and to fulfill what you told him to do. All of that is a form of communication. And essentially to say Bitcoin is haram is to say that actual function, that actual procedure is also haram. And the issue is, how are Bitcoin communications formed? I just made a claim. Bitcoin is a form of communication. How is that formed? In our next video, we will demonstrate to you exactly how Bitcoin transaction is formed from the beginning to the end. And you will actually see the actual letters, the actual message that will be sent to the miners, and what the miners actually would do with that message and how they'll put that into the blockchain. All open, available for anyone to look at. There's nothing clandestine available here. There's nothing hidden here. It is something here open and available for everyone to look at. And that's what makes Bitcoin a decentralized system. It is not a system that you have to ask someone permission to take part in, we have to ask someone's permission to engage in, is something that you can just engage with, just like I engage with you right now. I've got the camera, I press record, and now I can disseminate this video via email, via YouTube, via all sorts of mediums, and you can share this video with someone else. It's just a means of communication. However, it was the first time in human history whereby we were able to have scarcity, rarity in the information realm. If I had a poem and I told you that poem, and then you told someone else that poem, and everyone now knows the poem, there's no way to say I own that poem. People can say that this is what so-and-so made, but they can't say this is mine and I have it and you don't have it anymore. Bitcoin was the first time that where information itself could be possessed and owned and only conveyed to someone else with their permission. We hope you find this video useful. In our next video, we go through a demonstration about how, or demonstrating to you specifically visually, how Bitcoin is a communication network. If you want to give us a call or a shout, you can find our details on our website. Other than that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.